man put on a diaper and hid under Chihiro's bed. The bed was shaking violently, but he was quietly enjoying it. His name was Naoto. He had no existence since he was a child. Neither his family nor his classmates ignored his presence until the day he was answering a question in class when Chihiro handed him a note to help him. Such a gesture made him happier than ever. 10 years have passed, but now Naoto's memories are still filled with Chihiro's smile. He had always liked Chihiro. That day, he finally found the Chihiro he wanted, but in front of him, she looked tired and listless. Naoto was very sad. He wanted to know why women suddenly became like this. He quit his job and rented a shop across the street from Chihiro's house. There was an aquarium on the second floor, and on the second floor he spied on Chihiro. He took out his graduation photo and hung it on the wall. He used a plastic model to put on the dress that Chihiro wore and sprayed it with a familiar perfume. Then he pretended that Chihiro was standing next to him. Then he took out a telescope to look into Chihiro's life. One day he saw a scene that made her heart ache. At dinner, Chihiro's husband threw a glass of water in Chihiro's face, and then he then kicked her. Then her husband pulled down the curtain. After that, Naoto sneaked into Chihiro's house and saw Chihiro's injured eyes. It was very painful for her. That day, Chihiro came to the aquarium to buy peacock fish. He took the opportunity to help Chihiro take the fish home. He took the key to Chihiro's house and copied it. Later, he went to Chihiro's house every day to help her clean the tank and feed the peacock fish. Then he installed a bug in her house and lay down where Chihiro slept to feel Chihiro's temperature. He also sends Chihiro a bouquet of flowers with a card every week. Chihiro was afraid that her husband would throw the flowers away when he found out. Gradually, he was no longer satisfied with this. He hid under Chihiro's bed and spied on her private life. One day, her husband picked up a card. It was a letter Naoto had written to Chihiro. He saw Chihiro being kicked to the ground by a man. His heart hurt, but he couldn't do anything. At night, while the man slept, he wrapped a blanket around Chihiro's body. When she awoke, Chihiro felt warmer than ever. She looked at the flowers she received every month and the fish tank that was cleaned. She thought there were other people in the house. She went back to bed and said to the air. Naoto hears her cry for help and decides to save the woman. At dinner, Chihiro says she wants to go home to her sick father, but her husband refuses. She slaps her husband directly, but the man lifts his fork and sticks it into the woman's hand. Then he threw her to the ground and hit her hard. But Naoto, who was behind him, was afraid to do anything. The next day, he is determined to save Chihiro, but when he sees her driving away, he is caught by her husband and returns home. The husband starts chasing Chihiro again. She had a knife, but her husband pushed her to the ground. He held the knife to her while Chihiro screamed for help. At the critical moment, Naoto appeared and knocked the man out with an electric baton. Chihiro tried to solve the problem herself, but was pushed away by Naoto, who decided to take responsibility afterwards. Naoto turned himself into the police and recalled how boring his life had been. He feels that his existence is like a worm under a rock. Chihiro arrives at Naoto's home and sees the photo. Now she remembers Naoto's name and what happened. She rushed to the police station, called out Naoto's name and smiled a long-lost smile. Maybe he found Chihiro after all these years, just to hear him call his name again.